Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to do the Tunisian crochet lace that is featured in the Diamond River shawl and other Diamond River Tunisian crochet patterns. I have the Diamond River beanie here, and the Diamond River lace is on a background of Tunisian simple stitch, but the lace itself is created by extended stitches and yarn overs, which make a really nice open tall lace that you can see really clearly in the background. Each pattern will provide you with written instructions as well as a chart for the lace diamond pattern, a chart a little bit like the one here. In order to make the lace, you'll need to know how to do the Tunisian simple stitch, yarn over and chain, but also know how to work two Tunisian simple stitches worked together. If we take a closer look at the chart, we can see that the chart has lots of symbols on it. Each symbol represents a different stitch. The chart comes with a key which will tell you what each symbol means. So having a look at these wavy lines here that feature on every other row of the chart, these represent the return part of every row. These vertical lines represent a Tunisian simple stitch, which is used for the background that sits around the diamond lace. This symbol here, which looks like a vertical line at the bottom with an oval on top, represents an extended Tunisian simple stitch. So that's a regular Tunisian simple stitch with a chain added on top to extend it. These combinations of symbols here are the stitch combination that creates the lace holes that form the diamond lace pattern. This little circle here represents a yarn over, and this symbol here, which looks like this one, but instead of one line at the bottom, it has two lines at the bottom, and this represents an extended two Tunisian simple stitches worked together. So you work two stitches together as though they were one, working them as for two Tunisian simple stitches worked together, and then you add a chain on top to extend it. The reason why extended Tunisian crochet stitches are used in this pattern is because they are taller than regular Tunisian crochet stitches, and so the lace holes look bigger. If we have a look at row 1, we can see that we need to start off by working Tunisian simple stitches up to this point here, then work an extended Tunisian simple stitch, then work a yarn over followed by extended two Tunisian simple stitches worked together, then Tunisian simple stitches afterwards. Once we've completed the forward pass, then work the return to come back to the start of the row. I'm going to do a sample here to show you how that is worked. I've got it in chunky yarn so that you can see it a little bit better. I've started off with a row of pearl stitch just so that this sample doesn't curl on me as I'm showing you what I'm doing. So I've started off with some Tunisian simple stitches. I'm going to work two more, so I'll show you how to do that. You insert your hook under the front vertical bar of the next stitch, yarn over, draw through and leave that loop on your hook. I'll do that again. Insert your hook under the front vertical bar, yarn over, pull through, leave that loop on your hook. And that's the Tunisian simple stitch. So next I'm going to do an extended Tunisian simple stitch, which starts off the same way, but then you add a chain on top. So you insert your hook under the front vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then you do a chain on top. So you yarn over, pull that through, and then you've got a chain on top of your stitch. So your stitch is a bit taller, but that's what we want, because it makes a really nice lacy hole. So if we go back to the chart, we've done our simple stitches, then our extended simple stitch. Now we have to do this here, which is a combination of a yarn over, then 2 Tunisian simple stitches extended. So it is a lot to do, but take it in stages. So first you should do that yarn over, which is just this. You yarn over, you put your yarn over your hook. I'll take that off and show you again. Take your yarn and yarn over, that's all it is. Then we need to do 2 Tunisian simple stitches together. So it's like a regular simple stitch, but we're going under 2 stitches and not 1. So under the front vertical bar of 1 stitch, but then under the front vertical bar of the next stitch, yarn over and pull through these 2 vertical bars as though they were 1 stitch. But then we need to extend this, so yarn over and add a chain on top, and that is an extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together. So you've got your simple stitches all along here, extended Tunisian simple stitch here, yarn over, then 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together with a chain on top to make it taller. To finish off, you just do simple stitches afterwards, just regular Tunisian simple stitches. I'll do a few, and then you can see that is row 1 completed of the diamond lace. So I'm just doing the return on the row 1 of the lace pattern. I just thought I'd show you, because when you've done the return you can see this hole much more clearly. So yarn over, pull through 2 loops for the return, all the way through. Go through this yarn over as though it was a regular stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and I'll do that a few more times. And now you can see this hole much more clearly now. You can see the simple stitches here and here, but then the extended stitches either side of this yarn over, which makes this really lovely hole. So onto row 2 of the diamond lace pattern. We're going to do sort of the same as row 1, but instead of just doing 1 yarn over followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together, we're going to do that twice. This is so that the diamond lace increases in width as it goes up. So again, start off with simple stitches. I'm going to go across. I need to do 2 more simple stitches, so I'll just do them. Okay, so now I've reached the point where I need to do an extended Tunisian simple stitch. And when you're going up the diamond lace, rows 1 to 5, the extended stitch you do first will be in the last simple stitch you did of the previous row. So this is the last simple stitch we did before the extended simple stitch in the previous row. This is the point where we'll do our first extended stitch here. So enter the stitch as for a simple stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then do a chain on top to extend the stitch. Now we're going to do a yarn over, so just go over like that, and then an extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together. In this case it's the extended stitch from the previous row and a yarn over that we use to make the 2 stitches work together. So go under the front vertical bar of that extended stitch, and then under the yarn over, then we draw through as though they were 1 stitch, then work a chain on top to extend it. So you've got the first lace hole there from the previous row. In this row we're doing 2, so we've got 1 here, you should do another 1 here. So a yarn over, and then insert the hook under these 2 vertical bars here. 1, 2, yarn over, pull through as though it was 1 stitch, then add a chain on top to extend it. So you can see now that this lace diamond is getting a bit bigger. Started off with one hole and now we have two. All that we need to do to finish off this is do some more simple stitches. There you go. Now onto the third row of the lace diamond. I'm going to do again the same as before, but one more repeat of the yarn over followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together. So I'll do that a total of 3 times this time, again to make the diamond lace get wider as it gets taller. So I just need to do 2 more Tunisian simple stitches for this row 3 before we get to our first extended stitch, the extended Tunisian simple stitch, which goes right here. So work a normal Tunisian simple stitch and then a chain on top. Now we do yarn over, then extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together. So under this stitch here and this yarn over, we're going to do go into them as though they were one stitch, and then do a chain on top to extend the stitch. Do that twice more, so yarn over into this extended stitch here and the yarn over, make them one stitch and then do a chain on top to extend. Do that a last time, yarn over, this time it's the extended stitch here and the simple stitch as though they were one, and then do a chain on top, and that's row 3. Next up is row 4. This time I'm going to do the yarn over followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches 4 times after the first extended simple stitch. So I'll just do 2 more simple stitches again to get to the point where I need to be. 1, 2, and now it's time for the extended simple stitch, which is in this stitch here. So simple stitch and extend it by adding a chain. So now we do a series of 4 yarn overs followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together. So a yarn over into these 2 stitches here, the extended stitch from the row below, and the yarn over as though they were one stitch, and a chain on top to extend them. Do that again, yarn over, and we're going under this stitch here, and the yarn over here as though they were one stitch, pull through and then do a chain on top to extend them. Again, yarn over into that stitch here, and then the yarn over as though they were one stitch, but then do a chain on top to extend them, and then the final one, yarn over into these 2 stitches as though they were one, and then a chain on top to extend it. So that's row 4. Row 5 is the centre row of the diamond. It's also the widest row. So in this row we're going to do yarn over followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches, total of 5 times. So again I'll just do a couple of simple stitches again to reach the point where I need to be. Now an extended Tunisian simple stitch is next, so work a simple stitch and then extend it by adding a chain on top. Oh, hold on, there we go. And now I have to do a yarn over followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches, a total of 5 times. So a yarn over, now we enter these 2 stitches as though they were one, so under that one there, and the yarn over, make them into one, and then do a chain on top to extend the stitch. Do that the second time, a yarn over, into that stitch on the yarn over, make them one, and then do a chain on top to extend it. Third time, yarn over into that stitch, yarn over again, and then do a chain on top. Fourth time, yarn over into these two stitches as though they were one, do a chain on top to extend them, and then the final time, a yarn over these two stitches, and then do a chain on top, and that's your row 5 of the diamond lace. So after row 5, the diamond lace gets narrower as it gets up to the top. So row 6 is the same as row 4, row 7 same as row 3, row 8 is the same as row 2, and the last row is the same as the first row. So going on to row 6, because we're getting smaller now, we need to do less of these lace holes as we go along. So we did 5 for the row 5, which was the middle row. Now we're on to row 6, but we need to go down to 4 holes to make the lace go smaller. So I'm going to do a couple more Tunisian simple stitches. The last simple stitch, when you go from rows 6 to the last row, the last simple stitch will be in the extended simple stitch of the row below. So that's the last simple stitch. Now the first extended stitch we do, the extended Tunisian simple stitch, will be in the yarn over here, the first yarn over from the previous row. So enter that yarn over like a simple stitch, but then extend it. Okay, now we're going to do 4 yarn overs followed by 2 extended Tunisian simple stitches worked together, just 4 times this time. So yarn over into that stitch and the yarn over as though they were one, extend. So that's the first time. The second time is a yarn over into those 2 stitches as though they were one, extend with a chain. Third time is the yarn over into the stitches as though there were 2, extend with a chain, and then the final 4th time, yarn over, 2 stitches worked together, and then a chain on top. So that's the 4. And then to finish, you'll do your first regular simple stitch into the last extended stitch of the previous row. So I'm just going to do some simple stitches here. Then you can see that the diamond lace is now getting smaller again. This row that we've done here is the same as the 2 rows below that we've got there. So on to row 7, which is the same as this one here, which is row 3. I've already done my simple stitches, so I'll do an extended simple stitch here in this yarn over. So simple stitch, but then extend it with a chain. Now I need to do 3 yarn overs followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together. So the first one, yarn over into these 2, and then chain on top. That's the first repeat. Second, yarn over into these 2 as though they were one, and then do a chain on top. And the last one, yarn over and then do a chain on top, and that is row 7. Now for row 8, which is the same as row 2, so I just need to do 2 lace holes in this one. So I've done my Tunisian simple stitches. Now to do my extended Tunisian simple stitch in this yarn over here. So simple stitch and then a chain on top to extend it, and then 2 repeats of yarn over followed by extended 2 Tunisian simple stitches worked together. So yarn over into these stitches as though they were one, then do a chain on top to extend, and then the final one, yarn over into the 2 as though they were one, and then chain on top to extend, and that is row 8. We're on to the last row now. At the top of the diamond we only need to do 1 lace hole, and this last row is the same as the first one we did here, with just this 1 lace hole there. So I've done my simple stitches. Now to do my extended Tunisian simple stitch, which goes into this yarn over loop here. Simple stitch, but then I have a chain on top to extend it, and then to make our last hole, yarn over. We're going to do 2 simple stitches worked together but then extend them, so into that stitch there and this one, and then do a chain on top to extend, and that's the last row. So there you have it, the Diamond River lace pattern. Thank you for watching.